Okay, keep it at the beginner's level. And yeah, so that is my aim. So I would like to uh, make it well paced, in the sense I would like to go really slow at the beginning, and if time permits, we can, you know, do some other, uh, like whatever has been outlined for the day. Okay, so if we can do that at all. So without wasting any time, I just want to start. So meanwhile, I don't think you need to look at me. So in between, if you have any queries, I can put on, like, my switch on my camera. But I want to turn off my camera for now, so that I can, actually uh, present my screen, so that you can, focus more on the screen. So if you have any queries in between, please do ask me. Okay, so if you like, whenever I'm trying to explain a certain code or a certain concept, then if you feel that you didn't understand, then please let me know. So I'm now sharing my screen. Let me know if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen, everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for the confirmation. Okay, so what I have thought of is, instead of giving a theoretical concept of what R is, and giving a theoretical background to it, I want to straight away jump into the lesson. The reason behind is, we sometimes waste, like, the starting point is really important over here. Uh, you can learn what R is, the theoretical background. Okay, so all those things, you can do a Google search, or you can understand uh, you can get an idea or an overview about R. Okay, but the main problem would be in, starting, or would be in understanding how to work with R. Okay, so my focus would be now to straight away, I'd like to jump into working with R. So as Dayada has already told me that, some of you have some basic idea about R. So I believe, like, most of you have installed R and R Studio in your systems. But still, I want to I'll give you this HTML file. I'll share this HTML file after the class. Okay. So what I aim to do today is just give a quick overview of understanding how to install R and R Studio. We'll talk about the user interface, okay, different kind of packages, and how to seek help. Okay. Installing and uninstalling R packages, right? So we'll also talk about different objects in R. We'll learn about the R environment. We will learn how to save the data, or save files in R, load or import files, different kind of files into R, and prepare the data for our analysis. And if time permits, we'll do the base graphics as well. So you can go through this introductory part in later also. So when you install R, uh, you can install R from the CRAN R project website. The link is provided over here. Okay, so I'll just show you how to do that. So just after I just a second. you can simply go to CRAN R project and open the link. And here, this is the home page. So you will get a link where it says download R for Windows. So you simply click on the link and you'll get the base package. Okay, so click on the base, and then you'll finally you should click on this download R 4.0.4. This is the latest version. So you download this executable file into your system and then install it. And after you install it, uh, you get this graphic user interface for R. Okay, and this is the console. This is what it looks like when you open R GUI. All right, so there are certain messages that comes up at the beginning, and uh, you'll see for the beginners. Okay, so you'll see a greater than sign and cursor blinking over here. So basically this is called the prompt. Okay, so this is called the prompt, and you can actually type in your commands and get the output using this prompt. Next would be like there is an example over here. So you can type in an expression, like a mathematical expression like 17 plus 3, and you will get the output 20. And since RStudio is a very powerful IDE. IDE means your integrated development environment. It it actually makes R more efficient to use. So and it's also a free and multi-platform usage. You can use it in your Mac or other Unix operating systems as well. So RStudio is widely used because of its flexibility, and it's because of its interface. It's more productive. Okay, when you use R in the RStudio. So you have this link rstudio.com. So you can simply go there, and yeah, so you'll find a link. Okay, so you can go to download or products. So RStudio, and then your RStudio desktop. Okay, and this is the free version over here. So download RStudio desktop. So this would be for your Windows. Okay, so again, installing RStudio is also simple enough. So you can just download the installer and then install it using the default options that is provided. Now this is what an RStudio window looks like. Okay, so I can just show you over here. So after you install RStudio in your computers, you'll get an icon something like this. So again, please remember, you have to install R. Okay, and after you so in download and install R, and after you do that, you download and install RStudio. Okay, so you have to do that in this sequence. So if you install just RStudio, it will not function, so it will not run. Okay, so please download and install R first, and then RStudio. So after you download and install RStudio, you will get an icon. So if you can see my screen, something like this in my here. Okay, so this is RStudio. So you'll get an icon like this R. Okay, so I'm powering up RStudio. So this is what RStudio window looks like. So So initially, in your uh, computers, so there are many things here in my computer because I've been working, but initially, you might find this window appearing. Okay, so there are technically there should like there are four windows, but initially when you like the first time using when you're using it for the first time, then this is what it looks like. From here you can get one more window which is called the script, okay, or the editor. Here in this window you actually type in your commands, okay, or functions or syntax, and then you save it, okay. And you can also execute a particular function or a code, okay, by using this run button in this excuse me, in this script. That you can do the same in the console, okay, the window over here that I'm showing you, this one. You can also type commands to and execute and run, okay. You can also do that in console but the disadvantage is you will not be able to save your work, okay. This is the third window where you have many options over here, okay. So you can connect, you can just check the kind of like the environment that you're working in, okay, the variables that you've created. You have history, then different if you are connected to a server, okay. Then Git, you can connect yourself to the Git repository. So there are multiple things that you can work over here, but to be like when we are beginning, I think environment, this particular window will be important for us okay, because this will give us some it will give us a list of variables that we have created and descriptions about that. So like it will work like a folder or a browser where you can actually check out what variables you have created, and history tab would also be interesting or important for you at the initial stages. The final window on the lower right uh, will give you will show you the different files that you are currently working with, okay. Also if you like when you are working with graphics, all the plots will appear over here. You can save your files. It will also give you a list of packages, okay, that are currently there in your system, okay. And if you want to load any package, then you can also use this window. Then the most important tab in this window is the help tab, because this is what we should we should normally practice. If you forget anything about any function, okay, then actually this help page is what is called R documentation, okay. So it's like a book which has been provided okay within this window over here, RStudio window. So you can search any topic, find any help, or I mean seek any help on any function in R. So the help tab in this last window like should be frequently used. At least I use it very frequently. And the last one is the viewer tab. Okay, so this will also come to your use when you are doing some other some like building websites or something else. Okay, so that one we will not need right now. So important things to look for in the RStudio window are: one, always use an R script to write your codes and functions so that you will be able to save your work. Number one. Console, yeah, so everything you'll get the output, everything in the console, so that's always there. The third window, environment window, or the environment tab in the third window is pretty important for us. That's what we have to look out for. And in the last window, the help tab in the last window would be of more interest for us at this stage, at least. So let me. Okay, I'll do that later. So let me start up with okay. What I'll do is I'll just start with okay, so okay, so I'll begin by actually saving your script or saving your work, okay, or creating a project. So because we are starting to work with RStudio, and now we'll have to work with like since we are working with RStudio now, we'll create a project, okay. So what we do here is in your RStudio tabs, so you can actually click on a new project over here. Okay, there's econ 791 over here in my window. That's what you can see, but it must there must be not there must be something else in your computer screens. I mean in your RStudio windows. So we click on new project. Okay, so what are we doing here is we are actually just like creating a new file, okay. So that we can do our work, like for example Excel. So uh, if you want to start up Excel, then what do? We generally go to Excel, okay, and then yeah, so after this we click up, since this is entirely click, okay, so you just click over here and then your book one is ready. Okay, so this entire, so what we are doing now is trying to we are actually trying to get things ready, okay, so that we can work with R Studio. All right, so now after we open Excel, so we type in our, like we whatever we have work we have, we just do it and then we just save it. Okay, so it's the same thing that we are trying to do over here. So go to new project wizard and then create a new project. Okay, so we want to create a project in new directory, and then we can create a new project over here, and let's say the directory name would be uh, let's call seminar. Okay, VB seminar, let's say, to put it in perspective. So VB seminar, and where do we want that directory to be? Let's say I want to put it in this desktop. So create a Git repository, use run with this project. So just leave them blank for now. Okay, so unless we are working with some uh, directory in the web, then we will use, otherwise we don't need it. And then after this we click on create project. Okay, so this is switching to new project. Okay, so now you can see the name over here, VB seminar, and the name appears over here on the top left as well, VB seminar RStudio. Okay, and we do not have any other files over here. The global environment is also empty, so everything is clear and clean. Okay, just like we have booted up Excel. Now our we are ready to start. All right, so we can check that in our desktop also. So there is a folder, okay, it's called VB seminar over here, right there on the desktop. So I guess all, like, if you have anything, if you have not understood anything up to now, you can please ask me.
Sir, my operating system is Windows 7 and it is 32-bit. From where I will download RStudio. The link already provided by Dayasankar sir that is 64-bit, so it is not open in my computer.
Yes, Prolay, actually, we used to have, I mean, these days we normally find 64-bit computers. Okay, so it's quite difficult to find a link to 32-bit RStudio version. I like even I haven't seen a 32-bit RStudio since few years. Okay, so it could be like you could I don't know. I have to check it out. Like maybe 3-4 years back they used to give this 32-bit RStudio, but now it's not available.
Okay.
So shall I continue then?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So the first thing here is so now what we have done is, as I was saying earlier, so we are now ready to work with our RStudio in RStudio. So the but when you open up a new project, what you can see is you have just three windows. Okay, so the console is there, the environment window is there, and the files window is there. So we create a new R script. Okay, so we go over here on this icon and then click on this R script over here. So we have an R script over here. All right, so we can type in anything over here, like any command or codes over here. Let's say we type in, as in the example we had done, 17 plus 3, right? So this is an arithmetic operation. Okay, so 17 plus 3, we have written it down in the what is that called, your script. Now we want to execute it, we want to run it. Okay, so there is a button over here, run. Okay, or you can use the shortcut keys in the keyboard, control and enter. You have to press control and enter together. So I'll press control and enter together, and your cursor could be anywhere. Okay, and you need not actually select the code. So you could just simply write down the code, put the cursor anywhere on the line. So this one indicates line number 1, and this is the code, and then I press control enter. So nothing happens in the script, but you can see the output in the console over here. So this is executed over here. So the 17 plus 3 is 20. Okay, so and this one, the number 1 within the brackets or the braces is there to indicate the position of the output. Okay, or I mean the element, the position of the element in the output. Okay, I'll clarify this with an example later as well. So now let's assume that we have written down some codes in our script. Now we are ready to save our work. Okay, so just like we booted up Excel, we opened it up. Now we typed in some numbers or letters, and then we have to save it in Excel, right? So it's the same process. We booted up I mean, we created a new project in RStudio, and we have opened a new script. We have typed in some codes. Now we have to save. So here you'll find a save button over here. Okay, or you could simply do a control plus S. So save current document, and then click on the save button, and then you just save it in the default folder over here, VB seminar. Okay, and then give a file name. So let's say this is script1.r. Okay, and then I save it. So script1.r, I have saved it in the in the folder over here. So you can see a file script1 over here. Okay, with this RStudio logo. Okay, so now assume that you have completed your work for today. So you simply press this close button over here, and then you exit. And then when you want to again start up, okay, your project, simply go to this folder, open it, and then click on the project, the R project file over here. So with a different icon over here, the R project, and then you simply open it. And then you are ready to go. So your code that you had saved earlier is still there. Okay, and we have some files in your folder as well. Okay, so the first thing is seeking help. Okay, so like the help tab, as I was mentioning earlier, the help tab in this window, the last window, is very important. Okay, is very important. So why is it important? Because generally in a function, okay, so in a function or in a particular code, you'll find different arguments. Okay, and it's not feasible. It's like you could do that, but it's not feasible most of the times to remember all the codes, number one, and number two, remember the the arguments in the codes. So what are the different arguments in the codes? Okay, and like what does, in what sequence do they appear, number two, and number three, what do we do with that, like what does that actually mean? So it's pretty difficult sometimes to uh, you know remember all of these. So that's why there's this help tab that you can make use of. So for instance, there's a function called sample. Okay, so let's assume that I know that I remember that there is a function called sample, but I forgot what that function does, number one, and number two, what are the different arguments in that function. So if I want to, like let's say if I want to recall, or if I want help on that function, then I simply type a question mark, okay, and then the name of the function along with the braces over here, and then run. Okay, so you will get a help page on the lower right window over here. Okay, so here it says this sample is a base function. Okay, and it will give you random samples and permutations, right? So there's a description over here. So it says the sample function takes a sample of the specified size from the elements of any object X or any variable X, using either with or without replacement. And the usage is also given over here. Sample X, this is the first argument, that is the variable which will contain the the sample, which could be a population over here. So from X we want a sample of size. Okay, and are we doing it with replacement or without replacement, and the probability you could also assign. And the description of the arguments are excuse me, are also provided over here. So X is either a vector or one or more elements from which to choose, or a positive integer. Then N is a positive number, the number of items to choose from. Okay, the size, replace, whether you want to replace or not. So all the details along with some examples are also appear here. Okay, and the references are also given. So this is a very I believe that this is a very good way to learn R. Okay, so you can simply take these codes over here and then copy them, paste it in the script, or paste it in, I think we should actually type it down instead of copy pasting it. So please again use the help the help window, or use the help function as much as possible. At times when you find it's difficult for you to make out what a particular code or a function is about. So that was about help. So I guess like you will be you have understood it, and frequently using the help function whenever you need to. Okay. The next point that I wanted to talk about. Okay, the packages. Now the point is the R system. Okay, so as I was saying earlier, or as I actually showed you while downloading R. Okay, so here in this, let me go back. So uh, in this website, you will see that you had to download the base. Okay, R. All right, and there are other things like contributed packages, old contributed packages, and some R tools over here. All right. So the main thing about R is that you have, like, R is basically logically, if you think of R, it has two components. One is the base R, which we are actually learning now, and the other everything else. Okay, other than the base R, okay, are what we call the packages over here, contributed packages. Okay, so basically the base package. Uh, so apart from the base package, as I said, everything else are packages. So just like um, the R, what can I give you an example? So whatever we have now, okay, so whatever we are looking into is just the base R package. And if you go to this packages tab over here, then you can see different packages over here. Okay, so uh, these packages, uh, they help us to work with different kind of problem sets. Okay, so if we are in econometrics, then let's say or economic students, then we can use this AER package called the Applied Econometrics with R package, which can help us in understanding how to use R, to deal with economic issues or econometric techniques. Okay, so for instance, there is a package like blockdown. Okay, so if you like, you may not need this, but some people might need it. So if you download and install this package, then you will be able to create websites. Okay, there is another package called book down. Okay, so you can create books. Okay, I mean, you can write books. Okay, and technical, like, you don't have to learn LaTeX or some other tools, okay, to write your mathematical technical expressions, so it becomes easier for us. So broom. Okay, there's this package called tidyr. Okay, so there are many things over here. So what I'm trying to say is conceptually, the main ingredient is this base R that we are currently learning. But apart from, and but this is not the world of R. Okay, so this is just it's just like, learning our phonics. But we can use different contributed packages, okay, to enhance our learning and have a better experience of R. So that is what packages are. So packages basically help. Okay, so packages are a set of functions. Okay, there are some help files, data files. Okay, so you'll have multiple functions to work with. So it will make your experience with R more vivid, and uh, you know you'll be able to do more with packages, right? So the other thing is, yeah, so this is for the I have, whatever I have shown over here, I have already actually shown in your uh, RStudio window, so you can find the packages there. Okay, and then you can also remove the package, install a package, update a package, okay, just by just clicking on this buttons over here. But if you want to do the traditional way without using your RStudio, then you could use some of these functions over here. All right. So yeah, so many a times this function called install dot packages becomes really handy to install any package. Okay, let's say we want to install a package called AER. All right, so we could also type the function install.packages AER and then run. Okay, so this will install the package AER that I just showed you here, this one. Okay, uh, you could simply click on this is an alternate way, so you can just click on this install button. So what's happening is the same over here, so it's going to run this install.packages function. Okay, so here you could also do the name of the package over here, AER. Okay, then comma. So let's say you want some more than one packages to install, so you can just do that and then install dependencies. So what does, you'll have to keep this check always. What does this mean is that sometimes, you know, my, like for example, I'll just give you an example. Excuse me. Okay, so in the there's a package called dplyr. Okay, so but to use dplyr you need some other supporting functions, okay, which are there in the tidyverse. Okay, so my point, what I'm trying to say is that if to install a particular, while installing a particular package, okay, you have to make sure that all the other packages that depends, okay, that this particular package that you're trying to install depends on should also be installed. So otherwise your package or the functions in the package will not work. So you have to like, unless you are sure that you have the dependencies installed, so you could always check this box over here. All right, so I'm not installing anything right now, but there are two ways that, as I have shown over here. So one is you could use the install.packages AER, and the other one is to use the this button over here, install.packages. And let's say if you do not want to keep any package, then you have this function called remove.packages, and the name of the package you have to enter. Okay, so or alternatively you could delete a package over here, remove package. Okay, so for example over here the cross button over here. Okay, so the other packages like methods, your base, your data sets, since they form the base R, you cannot actually remove them. Okay, but the other packages you can you know, actually remove the other packages using this thing. Now the other thing is now that I have installed a package, let's say I've installed a package called AER, applied econometrics with R. So it's like, you know, installing and the other part associated with installing is, you know, loading or opening. Okay, so I'm just putting it in very simple terms. So now that you have your AER in your system, okay, it's a one-time job. So you install it today, and then you can have it as long as you you know, do not uninstall that entire R or RStudio. So it will remain with your remain in your system. But every time you want to use that package, you'll have to, you know, load it into the system, or you have to actually open it. Okay, so just like Excel or Word is there in your computer, but every time you want to use it, you'll have to open it, right? So it won't actually, like when you turn on your computer, you will not find Word or Excel opening up on its own. Okay, so sometimes that confusion appears, while working. So for example, once we have since we have installed AER package, okay, now we know that we have installed the AER package, but okay, so data, so there's a function called data, which will give us, uh, let me just check it once. Okay, data, I'm just trying to show you, give you an example over here. So let's say,
Excuse me, sir.
yes,
I have one question here.
yes,
So on second, you have taken question mark sample command for help.
yes.
So how it will get to know what kind of help we are asking? Matlab we means we'll use this command for all kind of help if we need of a sample.
No, no. What I'm saying is, this is just an example over here. Okay, you're talking about this line.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is just an example over here. Okay. So there could, you could use a question mark and any other function. Let's say
So
there's a, yeah,
for
mean.
example, if we type research here.
So it will give, no, no. It should be about a function in your R.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay, so it's not like Google that it will give you, help on everything, but
Okay, okay.
it's about the functions in R. Like for
Functions.
example, yeah, so there's a function called mean in R. You know that there's a function mean called mean in R, but you don't know what it does. You don't know what the arguments, okay, are. Okay, so these arguments. So for that you can use this question mark. Okay, to
Okay,
say.
sir. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, okay. So what I was saying, okay, so I'll just show you over here. So initially what you do is, you install a package called AER. Okay. Now after you install the package AER, you'll have to use the library function. Now, to give you an example, we don't know, let's say we don't know what the library function does. Okay, so simply type question mark and library and then run. Make sure the cursor is on this line number 2. Okay, but it could be anywhere on the line, and then simply press run. So what does it say over here in our documentation page? It says that it helps you load, attach and listing of packages. Okay, so it helps you to load the package into the current environment or the current session that you are working. All right. So what you do is, so first thing that we did was install .packages, and we installed AER. All right. So I'll just show you that one. So run. So after you run, you can see that in the console it says installing package into this location, and there's this button. Okay, red button glowing, which says that your system is engaged. Now it's gone. So there's a message called saying package AER successfully unpacked. Okay, and the downloaded packages are in this address. Now your packages have been downloaded. Okay, it's there. Like some software guy came to your home and installed Excel or Microsoft Office. Okay, so it's there. But we expect, but there's a slight confusion here in RStudio, because since we are just in that same environment, since there's no hardware or software over here, so we might think that, it's already there, so we can work with it. So the problem is, unless you load it, okay, unless you open it, okay, or load it, as you can see in the documentation, the package, you will not be able to work with the package. All right, so the next step would be to use the library function, call it library, and type in the name of the package. Okay, and then run. So it says in the console, as you can see, it says loading. Okay, wait. So loading required package car, loading required package car data, lm test zoo. Okay, and multiple messages have come away. So so this would be an example, as I was saying earlier, that you have to check that option where, when you install. Let me go over here. When you click this button install, so there's this option. Okay, so where you have to check this box whether you want to install dependencies or not. So what I was trying to mean was this, exactly this. So here the AER package requires the car package, the car data package, the lm test package, and the zoo package. Okay, since they are already there in the system, okay, you could successfully load the library package, I mean your AER package. All right, so these are what we call the dependencies of any package. Okay, so now now that we have, one, installed the package, and number two, we have loaded the package in our environment or in our system. Now we can use the AER package. So it's like, so we have a package AER, we have installed and downloaded and installed. We have also loaded the package in our current session. So this one is, I use a hash mark, one-time operation. Okay, whereas this is do it every time you do it when you are in a new session. Okay, let's say I'm just giving an example. So yeah, so the point that I'm trying to make over here is, so install that packages, you need not, now in my computer I will not have to install it again because it's already there, unless I uninstall my R or RStudio. But the library function, I have to use it every time I open a new session. Suppose I close this session, okay, I exit and then I go shut down my computer. After 1 hour I can come back, I want to work again with the same project. I open my laptop. I will not use this code, but I will have to run this code. Otherwise the functions, okay, in this AER package will not work. So that is one. The other thing, I wrote these lines, 2 lines on purpose. Okay, so what was that? So I have used a hash mark and none of these sentences or words appear to be R codes or R functions. So why I did this was like what this means is that this is called a comment, okay, or any remark that you want to make on a particular function or a code. So anything that follows after this hash mark will not be considered as a code or a function, by R. Okay, so it will not execute this. So if I go to line number 3, I'll just shift this pins. Okay, console on the right, I'll just put it on the right so that it becomes easier for you. So now please don't get confused. My script is on the left and my console is on the right, so that you can see the output more clear. Okay, so now if you look at code number 4, if I run this, so the code is executed over here, and also this line. Okay, so this line is also, it appears in the console. All right, but it doesn't mean anything to R, so it's just a comment. So again, please remember, anything after the hash mark will be completely ignored by the R. So now that we have a package called AER, we have installed and we have loaded in our system. As again, by definition, what is a package? A package contains help files, functions, okay, and data files, okay, bundled together. So we want to know what this AER package contains. So we could use this function called data, okay, or again, okay, let's not do this. Let's simply do data. Okay, or simply what you can do is you could go to packages, AER, okay, and then click on this link, which will show you what this package is all about. Okay, so it will take you to the CRAN website. So this is the package AER. There are functions, datasets, example demos, and vignettes for the book Kilberg and Gillies 2008. Okay, and all the details are given over here. And a version, okay, depends on these packages, dependencies, as I was saying earlier. Yeah, so there are some functions like boot, fx, fcards, forecast, so on and so forth. And you can actually learn about these functions by clicking on these links as well. Okay, yeah. So there's this vignette also over here. Okay, so you can, what's a vignette? It contains help files. It contains, it basically teaches you what this package is. So this is something that you can do alternatively, okay, to know about the AER package over here. And to load a package, you could also check this box instead of using the library function. All right, but on the safer side, you could use the library function. So now that we have seen the from this page that it contains different functions, okay, as as outlined over here. We want to find out the different kind of data set that's contained within this package. So we just type data and then call package. Okay, again, now we don't know what this data function is about, let's say. Okay, again, question mark data and run. So data, okay, loads, this function will load specified data sets or list the available data sets, right? So simply, there's this argument called package, a character vector giving the packages to look in for data sets or null as well. So simply what you do is you type in data and use this to just check the data set. Package is AER, okay, and then simply, sorry, This has to be within quotes. Okay, and then you'll get a new window over here which says that these are the data sets that you find in the package AER. Okay, so as you can see, data sets in package AER. Okay, so there are so there's this data set called affairs, AFFAIRS. Now let's say we want to load that data set called affairs. Okay, so simply again type in that same command. Okay, so this is to data, the name of the data set is affairs. Here it comes. Okay, you could, to be on a safer side, you could use this option package equals AER. All right, so this will actually load the data set in your system. Okay, so nothing has happened in the console. The same line has been executed, but it has in the background the data has been loaded. Now you could actually use the view function. Okay, now let's say again you don't know what that view function does. Again, question mark VIEW. Please see that the V is in capital, and over here in this thing affairs, A is capital. Okay, let's say by mistake you wrote a small a, then you'll get a message saying that there is no data set called affairs. Okay, data set affairs not found. Why? Because R is very sensitive, is case sensitive. Okay, so you have to provide the exact cases over here. So for example, over here, if you look at the data set, A is capital over here. So over here Argentina CPI, A and CPI are in capital letters. So if you just miss one or two letters, okay, then you'll get an error over here. So again I do a capital over here, then I'll get it's running smooth. The next thing, okay, so similarly the V is capital over here. Okay, so frequently what I've seen is that when we are initially starting to like when we are actually learning R, then we intend to type a small v. Okay, so please remember that this is a capital V over here. And then again we get back to the help page. So it says this will invoke a data viewer. Okay, so invoke a spreadsheet like data viewer on a metric like R object, right? So simply, so we do a view with a capital V and we do affairs. Okay, and then run a control enter or this button. When we do that, a new window pops up and you can see the data set as the description said, that in a spreadsheet like data viewer. Okay, so put in your rows and columns over here. So you could pop this window out by clicking on this button. Okay, to have a more detailed view of the data set if you want to. So it's now like an Excel. Okay, and to put this window back into our main window, then we just click on this button, so you'll get it back to the thing. Okay, so this is what the view function does, as described over here also. So that is about, so what we have done over here: one, we have learned how to install a package. Number two, after we install a package, which is a one-time operation, we use the library function to load the package, or alternatively go to the packages tab and then check this box. That will also load the package into the system, into the environment. So that is, you'll have to do it every time you open a new session. So that was step number two, loading a package. Third one, you want to access the data set in the package. You use the data function to browse Okay, by just using one argument package equal within quotes AER, this will give you the data list of data set in the package AER. If you want to load a particular data set like affairs, how do you know the name of this package? Again, from the list, the data set from the list. Okay, over here, and name of the package. All right, and then you use the view function to see the data set in a more spreadsheet like view. So so that is so these are some preliminary ideas that we need. Okay, the next would be I talked about case sensitivity. Okay, the next, there are two things over here. One is this, okay, and the other one is the error that we sometimes see. So, okay, the first thing is, let's say I want two operations. Okay, so I want to find the mean. Okay, let's not do mean. Okay, I'll talk about this in a while. Okay, so expressions, it's like creating a variable in R. Okay, so let's say you want let x be equal to 3. Okay, so you want this x to have this value 3. All right, so you could do this and run. Now you'll need the third window. This is the environment window over here. So as soon as you type in x equals to 3 and then run, so your console, you'll find the code being executed in the console, and this window is also activated, and it will say that there is a variable called, or an object. We call it objects, okay, or we call it object in R. The terminology is different, but the idea is same. It's a variable or an object, or more precisely, it's a vector. Okay, so it's a vector or an object in R. So it's a numeric object or a vector. Okay, it has 56 bytes, and it has the value 3, numeric value 3. Okay, so x is now a vector. Okay, it has different dimensions over here. Okay, so 3 is the value assigned to it. Alternatively, we could also do this. Okay, so this is called an assignment operator, which is very similar to the equal to sign over here. Normally, this is used in R. Okay, this operator is used in R. So if you run this code, like line number 13, you'll also, again, you don't see any changes over here. Okay, so that signifies that both the lines of codes actually does the same thing. So now you have x equals 3, but now you want to actually print the value. Okay, so there are there are many ways to do that. So one conventional way is, after you, so I will be using the expression over here, this expression frequently. So I'll just delete this line, which I'll not be using anymore. Okay, so now I use the assignment operator. I put in the value x3 to x, variable x, and then to print the value, I just simply type x in the next line and then run. And in the console, you will see that the output, you'll see the output 3 over here. Okay, here 3. All right. Alternatively, what you could do is, you could simply put a colon over here, semicolon, and an x. So what you are doing is, basically, you are putting two codes in the same line. okay, separated by a semicolon. You could do that also. What is the advantage of this? This will actually ease out your it will make your code more compact, and it ease out your working process. So just go to line 13, place your cursor anywhere. Now you don't need this, so place your cursor anywhere and then run. You'll simply get the output 3. It's already printed away. You don't have to run it again. The third one would be more easier to work. And what you could do is put the entire code in the bracket, okay, and simply run. So this will also simply print the output here. Okay, so two things that we have learned over here. One, how to create a vector or an object or a variable. You could say anything. Okay, in R, we have learned about the assignment operator, and we have learned how to print the output in the console. Okay, so these are expressions. These are what we call as expressions. Okay, now that we have one object, we have an object X, and there is only one element in the object X, that is 3. Okay, the number 3 is the only element in the object X. What if we want to have more than one elements? Okay, so let's say we want more than, so there's just 3, so we want 3, 4, 5 and 6, these values. Okay, so at one point in time we might have thought that why not do this, right? Why not do this? But this will give you an error over here. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to use a function called C, or the concatenate. Again, going back to the same question someone had asked me, I just forgot your name, sorry. So question mark, the C function. You could use that question mark to any set of function over here. So again, it says it combines values into a vector or list. Okay, so it just used to combine or concatenate. So we have to use the C function over here. Okay, so X, okay, and then the assignment operator, and then we are saying that we want to assign the values 3, 4, 5 and 6 in this vector X, and then we simply go and run. So the output, as you can see, it says there are the output is like 3, 4, 5 and 6. So X will contain the values 3, 4, 5 and 6 now. Okay, and in the environment window you will see that it's listed over here. So X contains numbers 1 to 4. I mean, there are 4 elements and these are the values. All right, now let's say you want to create so for now what I'll do is since I know that what values I've been assigning, so I just want I will not use these brackets anymore. Okay, because I don't want to see the output. Okay, because I know, right? So I will create another vector y, which will contain values, let's say 4 values starting 7. Okay, and it will be like 7, 8, 9, 10. But this time I do not want to type all the values. So what I can do is I can use what is called the colon operator. Okay, this one. This is also a function. All right. So what colon does, it generates regular sequences. So it generates a sequence of numbers from 7 to 10. So let's check it out. So this is the line of code y. Okay, for now let me just give a bracket, okay, because I'm just demonstrating it here. So I run, so I get 4 numbers 7, 8, 9 and 10. So this is similar to the values over here, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So yes, so now I have two variables, x and y. So x contains four numbers or four numeric values, 3, 4, 5, 6, and y contains four numeric values, 7, 8, 9, and 10. But I just want to again confirm that whether these values, okay, are actually numbers. Okay, why? Because sometimes what happens is, if I do this, okay, this is not this one. If I do this now, if you look at this environment over here, x, okay, it says it's a character chr, and y is an integer int. Okay, so if I want to perform any kind of arithmetic operations, I will not be able to do that. Okay, so if I do x plus y, the vectorized operation, then it will give me an error because I am trying to do some non-numeric argument. Non-numeric value. I'm trying to add a character with a number or an integer, so that's not possible. So instead, I have to be quite clear, okay, whether so this one, so you can see this is a number and this is an integer. Okay, so essentially now you can perform the operation. So x plus y, okay, if you just run this, then the values, so x plus y will contain 7 to 10. You are getting an error. You could, I don't know why you are facing a problem, but you could simply do this also. Line number 15. Try it out.
No, sir, I'm not able to do that.
Did it work?
No, sir.
Did it work?
It's not working. No, sir, it's not working on my desktop. I don't know why.
Did it work, Saivia?
No, sir, it's not working.
Did you repeat this exact line? Y, then
Yeah.
this assignment operator, 7:10.
Yeah, I need to remove bracket and C also.
Yes, try that. Remove the brackets and the C.
Okay. No, it's not still working.
No, and after that you have to press on this run button.
Yeah, I did run by control enter.
Okay, what do you see in the console? What error message do you see?
Error, or while I remove the bracket and C, the same code in the console, like by more than 7:10.
Can you please repeat? I
Okay.
couldn't understand.
But in environment, I get 7, 8, 9, 10.
You got
Yeah.
it now?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yes, so what I was saying, now some of you might be curious, like why did I remove this C function over here? Okay, so I will use the C function. Okay, so let's say if I do this, okay, and if I do this 11 to 15. So what I'm saying over here, let's say 15 to 25. So what I'm saying here is I want the numbers 7 to 10 and 15 to 25 assigned to a variable or an object y. All right. So I don't want anything in between. Okay. So if I use a comma, okay, so please make sure you understand this properly. So if you are using a comma to assign more than one values, okay, so here you are not using a comma to assign more than one value. So just to make it more clear, so what I'm saying is that when I do this, I am not there is no comma over here, okay, or I'm not using a comma to assign values, more than one values to a variable or an object. So I do not need a C function. But here in line number 16, I have used a comma to assign values to a variable or an object y. So we have to use the C function. Okay, so that is the difference over here. Okay, let me just delete this part. So I can now add, and this is the output that you can see over here: 10, 12, 14, and 16. All right. So actually what I was saying.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Hello. Yeah.
Yes, I can.
I'm sorry, but my internet got disconnected and it missed the argument operator part. Can you please repeat that in short? Argument operator.
Argument. Assignment operator, you mean this one?
Sorry. Assignment operator. Yes. Assignment
Yes.
operator. Yeah.
Yes.
Can you please repeat that part for me?
Sure. So the assignment operator is just like the equal to sign that we use to normally assign a value to a variable. Okay, so like we do in our everyday life, that when we have to assign a value 3 to a variable x, then we simply do x equals 3, right? So we could do the same. This time let me use another variable. Let's say z equals 3. Okay, so we can assign a value 3 to a variable z using this equal to function, and in the environment you can see that a new variable has, or an object, okay, has been created, and the variable or an object has the value 3. All right, so we could this time let me put a. We could also do the same using a symbol, okay, something like this, a less than and a dash, okay, which works which is the same thing as using an equal to sign. All right, so this is an assignment operator.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
So we have a value a over here, I mean variable a, which has a value 3.
Okay.
Okay. So as we were talking about objects in R, so the variables or the values or the variables, yeah, like z, a, x, and y. These are all of these are called objects in R. Okay, and not only this a, b, I mean a, x, and z variables, the data set over here, affairs, this is also an object in itself. The function view is also an object in itself, and yeah, the function library is also an object in itself in R. Okay, so but R has 5 basic class of objects. Okay, so which which are like the character, the numeric, the real numbers, the integer, the complex number, and the logical values. Okay, so and the representation are the way they are represented are given alongside. Okay, so if you want to use an integer, then you have to type 10. Let's say, for example, you have to attach L, capital L, after a number. Okay, so these are other representations, known format. There are some other numbers like infinity, INF. Okay, uh, in R, to represent infinity we use INF. Sometimes you get messages like NaN, which means it's not a number. All right. Okay, so now we will talk about attributes, okay, of objects or characteristics of objects. So for example, if you type class of 10L, okay, the function class, again coming back to the help function, we type class, okay, and try to see what this function does. So yeah, okay, so this might be okay. I'll put it in very easier way to make you understand. So class of the object that we have, X. Okay, we have an object over here, X, class of X. If we type this and run, the output, it says that it's numeric. Okay, similarly, if we do class of Y, it says it's an integer. Okay, and in this window it's evident, right? So X is a numeric value, Y is an integer. Okay, and affairs is also an object over here. So class of, we could we could do this the traditional way, class of excuse me, class of affairs, it says it's data frame. Okay, we'll talk about data frames in a while. Or you could simply click on this button and it will give you the detail over here. Okay, so affairs, there are 601 observations of 9 variables. Okay, gender, age. Okay, so let me just put this back over here. And let's concentrate on affairs now then. So it's a data frame. So what we do next is, so as we were doing over here, so we have loaded and we have checked out the affairs data set. We just learned about the assignment operator and some operations on the on different objects, different types of objects. So let's again come back to what we were doing, the affairs data set. Okay, so to get an idea about the affairs data set, you could use this window over here, click on this button and access the information. It says there are 601 observations of 9 variables. Okay, and affairs, gender, age, years, married, children, religiousness, education, occupation, and rating. These are the what should I say, headers, or the let's say variables, okay, in the data set. Okay, so this variable affairs is a number. Okay, so these are some of the, so what I'm trying to say over here is this actually gives you a glimpse, okay, glimpse of the data set. All right, so there's a function called glimpse affairs. Yeah, so it says could not find the function glimpse. Okay, so now what I do is I do library dplyr and glimpse. Now it's working. Okay, so please, like, this is an example okay, that I wanted to show you over here. So see, first I thought I know that there's a function glimpse, okay, and I tried to use that function on the dataset affairs. But what happened? It says that could not find the function glimpse. Now I suddenly remember that, oh, this glimpse function is in the package dplyr. So I had to load the package. The package is already there, but since I didn't load it into the system, I could not use it. Okay, so again, giving you that example of why the library function is important. So once I load it, it will, I will be able to, now I could use the function glimpse. So it gives you the description. So this is 601 rows and 9 columns. Affairs, gender, age, years, married, children, religious, the same thing over here. And this is double, okay, or a number, basically a numeric value. This is a factor or a categorical variable like male, female. Okay, this is also a number, numeric value. This is a factor, again, a categorical variable like yes, no. Okay, and this is an integer, basically saying that it contains some decimal values also. I mean, doesn't contain decimal values. So yeah, so this is what so in R, what instead of actually doing view, okay, where was this thing? So another advantage of writing it in script is, now see, I needed this function view, so I need not type the entire function of the code. I simply go to line number 10, okay, and then excuse me, run. So instead of viewing the data set in this spreadsheet like window, where you just get to see the values and you do not actually understand the what should I say, or where you do not get to know the class of the variables or the attribute of the variables over here. So affairs, you see like 0, 0, 0. So you don't know whether this is a number, this is a character, okay, is this a date, okay. So what is the class of this variable? You do not know, okay. So gender, so unless you like, you just point it out over here and then you check it out. So but with the glimpse function, okay, which is not a part of the base package, this is a part of the dplyr package, okay. But instead of the glimpse function, the base function uses what is called the head function, head, okay. What head does is it simply gives you the same thing. It gives you the lists you the first 6 elements or the first 6 rows, okay, in the data set, okay. So it gives you a glimpse. So glimpse is a more I wouldn't say advanced, but it is more informative, okay. It is more efficient because you don't have to, again, it gives you information, more information than the head function. All right, so or alternatively, you could also again check out this affairs, or I mean this environment window, and then see the same thing over here. So affairs is a number, the initial values are these, okay. So so the affairs 0, 0, 0, these are the initial values. Gender, okay. So this is as I was saying earlier, that why use RStudio. Okay, so using RStudio, it's more productive to use. It's more efficient. Okay, you don't have to type, like, this helped me or you to not to use some of the functions. Okay, so or to reduce the number of functions as much as possible. So you need not use the head function, which gives you this first six element values in the data set. You need not use the class function, which tells you what, let's say, class of, I want to know the here in the affairs data set, I want to know the class of this, or the attribute of this affairs variable over here, or let's say gender, gender. Okay, so what I do is I type class and the name of the data set and use a dollar sign and the gender. Okay, again I'm doing it slow. So what I'm saying is that okay, two things. Class of affairs, this is one. You can see the output over here on the right. It says it's a data frame. That means the entire data set is a data frame. And the next thing is, in this data frame, what is a data frame? Data frame is, again, it's just, this is a data frame, to put it in very simple words. So this is a data frame, like in the sense that it can contain numbers, it can contain factors, it can contain characters. Okay, so a data set, I mean the data frame, is an R object which can actually contain more than one types of objects. Okay, a character, a number, anything. All right. We have more advanced, I wouldn't say advanced, more, again, what should I say, like, it's a better way of putting clubbing in the data. They are called tibble in the tidyverse package. Okay, so you can have a matrix or a data frame inside a data frame, or you could so in a table you can do that. So okay, anyway, so I'm not going to that. So the point of it is that, what is a data frame? A data frame is the normal data structure that we use. Okay, so like if you are doing some research, or if we are teaching a class, so the normal data structure that we are accustomed to or to use, that is what a data frame is. Okay, so and there are other types of objects, like your factors, okay, your matrices. They can contain only one particular class of object. Okay, so everything you put in will be coursed. Okay, I'll talk about coursing also. So anyway, so this so what I was saying is that, so instead of doing this like affairs, within the affairs data set, I want to know the class of the variable gender. Then I will have to do all this typing, class affairs $gender. Then it will say it's a factor. But this information I've already accessed over here. Okay, it's already there in this window. So that's why using RStudio is more efficient and more productive. Okay, the other things, you could do sorting as well in for like in a data set. Okay, let's say you want to since you know that which is a number, let's say okay, education, the variable education, okay, is a number. Now what you can do is you can use the function sort, okay, and affairs, then education. Okay, so then you'll instantly see the output over here in the console. So 9, 12, 16, 17, 18, 20. Okay, so what you have done is, in the affairs data set, okay, dollar sign, give a dollar sign and then the name of the variable, and then you want to sort it. So you have sorted it from the lowest to the highest value. Now again the L function comes into use. Okay, now I forgot what to do if I have to difference between class and sort use. Okay. Okay. Okay, so the class function, what it does is it tells you, the attribute, the character or the characteristic of a variable. Okay, so like for example, the like as you can see in this window, the gender variable over here, gender. Okay, this variable, the table says over here is that it's a factor. Okay, what is a factor? It is a categorical variable, right? We know what categorical variables are, like male, female. It has different levels. So this is a factor. So what I was saying is that if you want to like if you were not using RStudio, then you would have to use this class function CLSS, which will tell you what is the class or what is the characteristic of that variable gender. Okay, so it says that the gender variable is a factor. Okay, so the gender variable over here is a factor, which is already, like, now since you are using RStudio, it's already there, so you can just you can just see it there. Okay, so you don't have to type class affairs $gender. Okay, so that way it's more productive and efficient. That's what I was saying. Now sorting, the sort function, what it does is it sorts. Okay, sort, sorting. Okay, so what it does is in this data set, I think it will be easier for you to understand it this way, because we are used to this spreadsheet, like what was the variable? Education. Okay, so education, yes. So if you look at this table over here, so there are values like 18, 14, 12, 18. Okay, so let's assume that you are in an Excel. This is an Excel sheet. Now you have to sort it. Okay, SORT from the smallest to the highest. Okay, so how do you do that in R? So you simply type the function SORT and then give the name of the variable. You simply cannot do this sort education, because education is a part of the data set affairs. Okay, so if you do this, then it will say that the object is not found. So you'll have to do this. Or if you are tired of typing, excuse me, then what you can do is use this function called attach. Okay, so what this function attach does is after you run this code, you need not keep typing affairs dollar and a dollar sign. Okay, so now now that I have run code number 28, line number 28, now I can run 29 as well without the affairs dollar. Okay, and I can get the values over here. But there's a caveat over here while using the attach function. The point is that sometimes you might have more than one variables, okay, with the same name and with the same spelling also, but it could be of different data sets. So this education variable pertains to this affairs data set, right? But like when you're working in a project, bigger project, like, then you could be working in more than one data sets. Okay, this you have to you're using some census data or NSSO data, whatever. So you have to compile the data. So the same variable, the same name of the variable could appear in multiple data sets. Okay, so then you could sometimes land into trouble. So you can use the attach function, but if you use affairs dollar education, then it's for sure that this data set or this education comes from the data set affairs. okay, or this variable education is there in the dataset affairs. So it's for sure. But now since you have attached affairs, you have attached one more data set, then and then you are using education, which are there in both the data set, then it could sometimes be troublesome. That's only the caveat. But the other thing is that after you finish, let's say you are working in parts, after you're finished working with affairs, then you can use the detach function, okay, to simply again unengage the data set. Okay, so now after I detach and then run sort, it says object education not found. So please just keep that thing in mind. Otherwise, you could use the attach detach functions if you are working in parts. So the sort function was basically to so for now let me attach it. Okay, so for now I will or let me not use that as I usually don't use attach. So let me just do it the traditional way. So affairs education. So I got a number these values, okay, in this data set 18, 14. Now it's sorted in ascending order. Okay, I mean from lowest to the highest. The other point, as I was saying, the number, okay, this in the bracket 1, 13, 25. So what are these? These actually indicate the position of the element of the output. So this number 12 is the 25th element. Okay, so if you count up to this point, then there will be 25 values. Okay, this is the 26th, 27th, 28th, and keep counting. This will be the 37th one, and likewise you have 601 values. Okay, so we know how to sort the data set in from the lowest to the highest. But what if we want to do it the other way around? So yeah, as I was saying, now I do not, let me just check. Okay, so let me just, okay, so now again you do question mark sort and then get to the documentation. It says, oh yeah, now I remember, there's this argument called decreasing equals false. This is by default. Okay, so let me read the description of the argument. So x is the object, okay, the first argument. The second is decreasing, okay, logical. Should the sort be increasing or decreasing, right? So decreasing equals true or false, right? So what I do is now that I've remembered it, so I simply go over here, sort affairs education, and I say decreasing equals true. Okay, and here decreasing equals false is there by default, and then you simply run this and you will see that it has been sorted in a descending decreasing order. I think at this point we should take, I don't know, was it till 1 p.m? Can you all please confirm?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it was till 1 p.m.
Till 1 p.m. and then it starts from 3 a.m.
Oh, okay. So
You can
sorry
say
for cutting
no.
that. So we'll come back then at 3 p.m, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Dada is over here. Dada, I took 13 minutes of your more time.
Yes, sir.